Well, the U.S. Embassy in Russia is warning Americans to consider leaving immediately as more airlines cancel flights in and out of the country. So Mary Ilyushina reports from Moscow.
Vladimir Putin raised the stakes between Russia and NATO to the highest degree by ordering his army to put nuclear forces on high alert. Western countries aren't only taking unfriendly actions against our country in the economic sphere, he said, but top officials from leading NATO members made aggressive statements regarding our country. Amid Putin's threats, ordinary Russians are trying to speak out against the war their leader has waged, often at their own personal risk, as over 3,000 people have been detained during protests since Thursday.
I'm sorry, I'm so shocked. I just can't help crying.
Crippling sanctions imposed on Russian financial institutions already sowed panic here. On Sunday, banks targeted by US and EU have been working overtime to service long lines of people trying to withdraw their life savings.
So, Mary, we have heard about protests. What kind of resistance are you seeing from Russians in Moscow?
Well, yesterday people in Moscow tried to gather for a demo, but there was so much police on the streets that they basically cut the meeting before it happened. You know, across other cities, there were protests. In St. Petersburg, there was a pretty big crowd. Overall, about 4,000 people have been detained so far since Thursday. But obviously, people are trying to speak out against this war, but it's becoming increasingly difficult. We heard a pretty menacing statement from the prosecutor general last night, who said that, you know, if you try to help Ukraine in any way, or if you try to sort of do anything that is in favor of Ukraine, that might be considered treason, and that could potentially end you up in jail for 20 years. So it's increasingly hard for Russians who are against this war to say that they are.
Mary, I'm wondering just how if Russians are feeling the impact of these sanctions. I know it might be too soon. I've seen some reports that indicate that there's maybe a run on money, that people are trying to take their money out of the banks, and that's the kind of biggest thing they're feeling right now. But are they feeling any sort of hit from the sanctions yet?
Yeah, I think people here are generally very unnerved. Every day there's new sanctions. Every day there's something going on that they potentially will change their usual way of life that they're used to. You know, like I said, not being able to get out of this country, not being able to buy things that they're used to. Today we had the historic low. The ruble hit historic lows today, and it still doesn't seem that it's hit the bottom, because the Moscow Stock Exchange today actually decided not to open the trading because they're so afraid of what's going to happen once they do. The Russian government also asked their companies, the main sort of cash earners for the Russian government, to sell whatever they earn in foreign currency, buy rubles to sort of prop up the currency. So it's definitely, people are preparing and bracing for possibly the worst.
All right, Mary, thank you very much.